31 retired U.S. military officials, specifically we're talking about generals and admirals, are urging President Obama to close Guantanamo Bay. In fact, they sent a letter to him saying exactly that. Quote, "We appreciate your leadership this past year in recommitting to closing Guantanamo. Guantanamo does not serve America's interests. As long as it remains open, Guantanamo will undermine America's security and status as a nation where human rights and the rule of law matter." Now, that alone is incredibly poignant, and it's 100% correct. What they're saying is, do you realize that you have made the United States a massive hypocrite on the world stage? It started under George W. Bush, and it's continued under Barack Obama. He's threatened to veto the bill that allocated funding for Guantanamo, and he buckled. He signed the bill anyway. And basically what that means is we can't lecture the world about freedom and liberty and rule of law and all these great high-minded virtues and values, but then at the same time, we are violating them. Did you know that the United States put to death Japanese soldiers when we caught them after World War II, when we found out they waterboarded our military members and officials? So other people waterboard, they get the death penalty. We waterboard, we don't even call it torture anymore. You change the name to the Orwellian enhanced interrogation. Oh, did we say it was torture? Did we define it as torture? Is it actually written out in a Chinese communist manual on how to torture? Well, don't look at that. Don't mind that. It's actually enhanced interrogation. Okay, man, that's a problem. It's a problem when we invade other countries to supposedly bring democracy and freedom, but we are violating the rule of law, and we are violating principles of freedom and democracy here at home. Not only are we violating the Constitution, we're violating the fucking Magna Carta. We're violating the Geneva Conventions and the Nuremberg Tribunal. Imagine if Iran was doing exactly what we're doing with Guantanamo Bay. Imagine if they had their own version of Guantanamo Bay, where they held people captive and tortured them to try to get information because they were afraid that somebody was going to invade their country and topple their government, let's say. Which, of course, never would happen except when we did that to Iran in 1953, and we put a dictator in and overthrew a democratically elected government. So, I mean, it's fantastic points here made by these generals and admirals, and I do think it gives more credence to the point. It's one thing for, a small-time radio talk show host like myself to bring this up. It doesn't have any sway. But if generals and admirals talk about it, then maybe that makes some of the American people stop and say, yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Are we really this crazy? Why are we not listening to the generals? Don't they know best on this issue?